We're live.
Good morning and welcome to the light and love that is Unity of Lawrence on Zoom. My name is Michaela and I will be your worship assistant today. Even though we cannot be together in person, we are very grateful that you have decided to join us virtually today, so thank you for being here. In Unity, we begin everything with prayer. Let's join our prayer chaplain, Sharon, as we will begin our service by opening to that divine presence we know is within us.
We are so grateful to be able to come together in spite of the limitations of COVID on this beautiful, beautiful morning. We have the glory of autumn all around us, and we have opportunities if we only open our hearts and minds to see them. So we do that knowing that we will be inspired by Danica's talk and that we will be able to see things in a new way to help us through the week, through our daily lives. And for this opportunity, we are so grateful, and so it is.
Thank you, Sharon. Please join Holly in singing Swing Wide the Doors.
Good morning, Unity. You can sing along with me if you like. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand what I am here for and what this life is about. 'Cause it's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about learning, it's about lending a hand. So swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine.
I love that song. I love seeing people jamming along too with Holly. It's so great to see everyone here this morning. We're now moving on to our Unity intentions, and we will start with Unity's founding principle. Please affirm with me together. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God, the source of all good. And now our Unity of Lawrence vision statement together. United in divine love and joy, we celebrate a peaceful and abundant world for all. And finally, our Unity of Lawrence mission together. We are a thriving spiritual community, sharing love, building bridges, and inspiring transformation. So, CX Luxem is a solo artist, songwriter, and collaborator who has performed all over the United States and Europe. He is a Lawrence gem who embodies the music with a timeless essence. Please welcome CS Luxem.
with the saddest look upon her face. She said, we gotta get out of this gosh darn place before it consumes us both. We are all born alone, we just happen to live in a loving home, she said, with a halfway smile. I still open my eyes underwater to see if there's a better world down a bit farther. But when swimming in a swimming pool, you come up for air, you feel like a fool. So we packed up our bags and headed on the road. Nowhere to go and nothing to show except two kids looking for love. We knew we'd be fine, and so did they, not to return until the 1st of May, when the rain is gone away. I still open my eyes underwater to see if there's a better world down a bit farther. But when swimming in your own bathtub, you let the water out, you go look for love. You don't want to ask for anyone's help, you just sit there and you think to yourself, I got myself to this problem. But with a shared smile that shows you care, it's just another action that anywhere you're not far from home. I still open my eyes underwater to see if there's a better world down a bit farther. But when swimming in the ocean, your eyes begin to sting, and you know there's no battle to be won. There's no battle to be won.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Danica. For those who don't know me, I am the Unity of Lawrence Youth Ed Coordinator Director. I've been with Unity for, I think I'm hitting 15 years. I always lose count. I just know that the first baby that was in the nursery with us has been in college for like 2 years. So I track it by the kids that I have served. So I'm here this morning to speak with you all, a message titled A Legacy of Spirit and Truth, or a Legacy in Spirit and Truth. And so I'm basing this off of the 5th principle. So one thing that I love about the Youth Ed Unity principles, I like language that's very clear-cut yet detailed. And I'm pretty sure that's some sort of oxymoron to have clear-cut language that's also detailed. So, but I don't like the PhD speech. And so the Youth Ed 5th principle reads like this. It says, I do my best by living the truth I know, I make a difference. And so I like the beginning part because it says what I'm supposed to be doing. And then it also affirms that I'm going to make a difference when I do this thing. So for youth, that's important for us to think about, to give them those I messages. And so one thing that I did in looking at this principle is I wanted to break down, okay, what does truth actually mean? And so if I go to Webster's dictionary, what is it, Rogers, Thesaurus, dictionary.com, there's lots of definitions that center around like facts, things that can be proven. And so what I discovered is this definition I'd never seen before that defines truth as actual existence. And I really like that definition when I think about the truth I know, actual existence, because our existence is not singular. Our existence is lived in a world of plurality. Our existence depends on our interaction with other people. This idea of a legacy, in a legacy, there have to be other people that come along and that work together. So Jay said it in a message a couple of weeks ago. It takes all of us. And so, how do I begin to navigate this truth I know? And how do I begin to inform the truth I know? Because one thing I do know about truth is that truth is informed. Truth cannot be something that just lives with just assumptions, predictions. It's very informed. And so, looking at the work of Dorothy Briggs, which if you are familiar with her book, Celebrating Yourself, Learning to Enhance Your Own Self-Esteem. It's a more of a classic book. It's a 1977 book. I'll own that. But I like some of the words that Dorothy uses in this text to be able to describe like this idea of coming into truth in this world of plurality, this existence. And so there are three things that I interpret from what I've learned, what I've experienced for myself, that inform truth, to be able to live the truth I know, to be able to live in this existence in plurality with the world around me, the universe around me. The first thing is self-interrogation, is how I inform truth. The second is self-love, and the third is giving of self. And so I'm going to talk through those three things in terms of how we inform our truths that we live to be able to make a difference. So self-interrogation, very simple. First, the question is, who did God design and create me to be? Who am I created to be in this existence, in the universe, in the world around me? And then who do I say that I am, and how do I live who I am? And the third piece is, how do others perceive and say that I am and that I live that I am? And finding where those misalignments are. So Dorothy uses three terms. She's the term essential being, a spirit self, and a real self. And I use all three of those interchangeably because Dorothy says you have to make contact with your essential being or your spirit self. And the only way to do that is through self-interrogation. So when I ask people, what do you think of me? Everybody has some trusted individual in their corner that's going to give you real feedback. But oftentimes we're going to go to that person that loves us so much, they love us into a fear of being able to hide honesty. So I could do that with my mom. She's going to tell me how much she loves me, but she's also not going to tell me the raw truth, right? I'm going to have to go somewhere else for that. And so when I interrogate in terms like, how am I really living and operating? What I have to think about now is this idea of my self-image. Self-image is learned, but this real self, your essential being, your spirit self, it's given. And so if you'll bear with me and not laugh at my graphic here, because I work with the kids, and so I always have to have a craft or something. So what I've done, I've taken the top of my this is my kitchen scale, my food scale here. So the paper represents self-image, but what's in white here, the unshaded part, is the part of my self-image that is informed by others around me, and I'm operating and acting in who someone else told me to be, that's not at all accurate. What I have here in the clear, this is my essential being, my spirit self, that I was actually designed and put in this universe to operate and live within, that I'm not even close to fulfilling. And what I have here in this intersection is the part of me that is me actually operating in my essential being, my spirit self, that's actually accurate and informed to be able to operate in this truth, or this plural existence in the universe around me. And so many of us are in this intersection. Some of ours might be a little bit bigger, but the idea here is, if we're going to have an informed truth, the first step is we have to find out a way to move into this spirit being, the essential being that we have. And the first thing to do is to interrogate those three things. Who was I designed to be? Who is the real self I was created to be? Who do others say I am? Who do I say I am? And find where the misalignments are. And also finding people who we can connect with in these interactions that will help us actually dig deeper into that. The second piece of this is self-love. and defining self-love different than pride, self-pride, because pride is about what I'm proud of, the things I've done. Pride is about the things I actually enjoy and like for myself. And in a space of pride, while it's good to have it, pride allows you to hide the parts of yourself that you're not so proud of that are also essential to your spirit being. Everyone lives through experiences. People have trauma. People have bad mistakes they made, they've recovered from. So self-love is this space of I can honor all that I've been through, all my experiences, because if I'm going to be able to reach a truth that I know, I have to figure out what's going on inside of me first to be able to give outwardly. And so self-love says that I have to find a way to appreciate all that I am, all that I've been through, to be able to inform the truth around how I reach my real self, my spirit self, my essential being. So if I could engage you real quickly here in a quick demo, if you're able to stand, just stand. It's going to take like 30 seconds. So if you're standing, put both arms out to your side. Drop one arm. It doesn't matter which arm you drop, but the one that you drop, I want you to slide that hand down your leg, going towards your ankle, and seeing as far as you can get. Go to a place where it's a little unstable. Maybe there's some pain. Don't go too far. Come back out. Most folks, if we're right hand dominant, we probably picked our right hand to drop. We probably slid down that way. Okay. How far did you make it to your ankle? Was it comfortable? Now, do the same thing again. 2 arms up. Drop one arm. You're going to slide down again. This time, bend your knees and slide down. That's the demo. Thank you for those who participated. So the question here is this. On the first direction, did you bend your knees? Most people don't, because we're conditioned to wait for someone else to tell us. And so while there was never a rule you couldn't bend your knees on the first one, we operate in limitations because our past teachings, our past experiences limit our options. Again, truth is informed. To live in actual existence in this world and universe around me, I have to actually inform my truth. And so what this represents then is very simple. Ask a toddler to do that same thing. Hey, slide your hand on your knees, like find like a 3-year-old. The kids drop to the ground. They don't even wait. They don't wait for the direction because it's that innocence that they have. And so we've been socialized by so many people around us to tell us who to be, how to be. This is why so many groups and like spiritual beings, they're limited because the traditions, the routines, every space that I navigate in the globe around me has some kind of routine tradition that nobody's self-interrogated. And so when I come back to my being, my real self, my essential being, I have to figure out like what parts of me did someone else tell me to be is a way to hide the pieces of who I'm supposed to be and the flaws that come with that I've learned to not even love. But I'm proud of my looks, my hair. Notice this self-image love just comes from how I look. But self-love internally is around, I can take all these experiences that have worked for the good, that have taught me lessons, and all that becomes now part of what I love. I love all those flaws, but I can only love it if I begin to interrogate, where did these limited teachings come from? And if I have limited teachings, I have limited options. And limited options mean reaching my full real self, my full essential being is not an option. So therefore, I have to go and unpack and do this interrogation to reach this truly informed self-love. Once I do that, the third thing I can do to inform my truth is giving of myself. Now, giving of ourselves, we think of that in terms of like, we have to meet everyone's needs. Some of us might be fixers. Educators, my background is education. Educators are fixers. You can't vent to an educator about anything without them jumping to action. You can't say, oh, my hair's back because someone's going to start curling your hair. Like, that's how educators work. They want to fix things. There's not a space to just talk and be heard. But because of that, it can be really easy to overwhelm yourself with taking on wanting to fix everyone's needs. And that's not what this is saying. So when I say giving of self, it's this question of how do I limit and isolate myself from my actual existence, this world around me, this universe I was placed in and designed to have a function and role in? How do I limit and isolate myself from others who I decide they have a lot going on, and I know that I was designed to have some impact over there, but I shy away because there's a limit for me? that limitation means I can't help build a legacy at all. And so when I look around the world today, there are all these dichotomies happening simultaneously. There's this world that has pain and blessings all at the same time. There's this world that has sorrow and joy happening all at the same time. And there's a world that has peace and chaos happening all at the same time. And these things are happening individually with people, and they're happening collectively with groups. And if actual existence or truth is lived in plurality with people around me, it depends on interactions that I have with others. But I can't give of myself in a way that matches my real self, my essential being, my spirit self, until I've done self interrogation and reached a true space of self love. Because if not, I will give using behaviors and things that depict the picture of myself. So I have to do that self love piece to find the limitations. What would let me bend and flex? And who told me to be that way? What routines and things have I learned along the way that were actually harmful, that were not part of my real self? So once I process through those things, interrogating who I am, knowing who I'm created to be in my spiritual being, thinking about how others perceive me, and finding the people that perceive me in a way, in a space where I may have caused harm that did not align with my real self, my essential being, and being able to love myself with flaws and all the recoveries that I've allowed myself. With those three things, I can do some things that I couldn't do without them. And the first thing I can do without them is listen and speak to be heard and to understand rather than to be right. I can come from a place of the truth in actual existence happens differently for everyone around me. And my spirit self is designed, it's created to be able to help meet needs of those that I'm directed to go to, but not to be right, but just to be able to understand myself and understand others to create this truth around us that we live. The second thing I can do once I've done self interrogation, self love exploration, and giving of self is I can move beyond the space of empathy, not just for myself, but for others, and move into a state of being where I begin to co-experience and learn within others around me. And when I do that, this idea of moving to being, that's moving into that translucent circle that's not yet filled yet, because I'm exploring that for myself. And the last thing I can do that I couldn't do before is I can move to difference to make a difference. Again, the youth fifth principle says at the end, I make a difference. And so moving to difference is how you make a difference. And that difference could be very small. It could be something as simple as, I have to figure out a way to move to this, because this is different for how I've been operating. I have to move away from this right here. And the people and the routines and the traditions that help me reach this, remember, this is the part that I've operated that's inaccurate. It's not aligned with my spirit self at all. Moving to difference. Because then once I do all those things, what happens now is I can move to difference in the world around me. I was not designed and created to just be in pockets of people who look, sound, think just like me, because that's not actual existence. Actual existence is it's plural. It's interactions with other people. So moving to difference, I can get really comfortable with the people who are just like me, but my spirit self has impact with people of difference. My spirit self is impacted by people who have difference, because I only know the truth that I live and experience. But my God truth, my spirit truth, it exists in plurality and in union with other people. And so for spiritual beings, this is exactly where our legacy is. I said in my bio that they printed that everything I do is for kids, and that's truly what I do. Every lesson that I teach, every action, I'm always thinking about the innocence of a child and what will they come into? Will they come into more traditions and routines that were placed upon me that I enforced, that were not in my spirit being? Or will I take the time to do this interrogation, this self-love, this giving of self that allows me to help build on a legacy that was designed for but the kids behind me? Because everyone is created with a spirit self, an essential being, a role in the universe to interact with others. And without that, the legacy doesn't build. So for spiritual beings that we are, the light within us, the truth within us, we have to move to this space of our real self, our spiritual being, and make that contact. With that, I would like to move us into a morning meditation. And so as you get yourself ready for this meditation, I invite you to do whatever's comfortable for yourself. And this meditation may be a little different than what you're used to. And you said we use a lot of visionary meditation where the children are creating scenes in their mind and they're interacting with this scene in their mind. They're speaking out loud. And so you're going to do that same thing today. And then at the end, I'm going to give you a piece to affirm you. And so what I would like for you to do, in whatever position you choose, sitting, standing, lying down, bring yourself to a comfortable space. Make sure that your arms aren't crossed and your legs aren't crossed. Just breathe in deeply. And as you relax yourself into your breathing, go ahead and lower your eyes. So in your mind, I need you to picture that you're facing a chair. There's an empty chair facing you. I need you to place someone in that chair, someone of special meaning and importance to you, someone very dear to you sitting in that chair. This person could be someone who's still here with you or someone who's transitioned on. There's a lot of people who have impact, but just place one in the chair. And imagine them so vividly in this chair that you can see their full features, their hair color, their eye color. You can smell their natural aroma. You can envision all their regular body demeanors, just as you experience them in real time. Begin to share with this person all the caring, tender, loving thoughts that you feel for them. Spell them out in such a way that's so detailed that that individual would not have the time or space to create any doubt that that is not how you truly feel about them. Once you've poured out all those feelings, those love feelings from your heart, reach out and give that person a hug, a kiss, or whatever would be natural for you to do in that situation with that individual. Bid that person goodbye for the time being. And go back to envisioning an empty chair. Now, place a twin of yourself in that chair. Another you. And envision you in full feature, full characteristic, looking back at you. In vivid detail, share with you how deeply you care for this version of you. Leave no detail out in expressing your tender joy for all that this self means to you. Spend as much time as you need on this self-dialogue as you did with your loved one. And when you're ready, reach out and gently embrace this other you. And breathe in during this embrace. And as you exhale, melt the you who is speaking into the you who is on the chair. And as you blend the two together, think about what the dialogue was between your loved one and the dialogue with yourself. How are they the same? How are they different? Some of us may have found that we could share loving thoughts with our loved one, but none at all with ourselves. Some of us may have found that as soon as we shared a little bit of love talk with ourselves, we began to immediately jump over into our shortcomings. Some of us may have discovered that our self-dialogue with ourselves involved only a tiny bit of caring or some watered-down version, but it wasn't very deep. Some of us found that we could speak wholeheartedly of our affection for ourselves, our experiences, the truths that we've lived and known individually and collectively with the universe around us. And you could do that as wholeheartedly as you did with your loved one. And only if you experience that last situation have you genuinely began to move into and acceptance and appreciation and a state of being of your essential being, your real self, your spirit self. And if you're not there yet, it only means you need to continue to work on your self-interrogation of the truth you know, your self-exploration of the love you have for yourself, to be able to understand you internally, to give of yourself outwardly and spiritually. And so my hope for you as you navigate this spirit being that you are moving into is from the words of Kate Nowak in a poem called May You Be Blessed. May you be blessed with all things good. May your joy, like the stars at night, be too numerous to count. May your victories be more abundant than all the grains of sand on all the beaches, on all the oceans, in all the world. May lack and struggle only serve to make you stronger. And may beauty, order, and abundance be constant companions. May every pathway you choose lead to that which is pure and good and lovely. May every doubt and fear be replaced by a deep abiding trust as you behold evidence of a higher power all around you and in you. And when there is only darkness and the storms of life are closing in, may the light at the core of your being illuminate the world. May you always be aware you are loved beyond measure, and may you be willing to love yourself unconditionally in return. May you always feel protected and cradled in the arms of God like the cherished child you are. And when you are tempted to judge, may you be reminded that we are all one, and that every thought you think reverberates across the universe, touching everyone and everything. And when you are tempted to hold back, may you remember that love flows best when it flows freely. And it is in giving that we receive the greatest gift. May you always have music and laughter, and may a rainbow follow every storm. May gladness wash away every disappointment. May joy dissolve every sorrow. And may love ease every pain. May every wound bring wisdom, and every trial bring triumph. And with each passing day you may live, may you live more abundantly than the day before. May you be blessed, and may others be blessed by you. This is my heartfelt wish for you. May you be blessed. Thank you.
In my own way, I'm 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 in my own way, you say. My life, my love, my life. Am I going on my little? I don't ever want my little. Am I going on my only? And I don't ever want my little, you say. My life, my love, my life.
What wonderful music and message and meditation. Thank you so much, Danica, for your thoughts today. We're now transitioning to a time of thanks. And so I invite you to join me as we hold our gifts to this community in our hands and love in our hearts. And let us affirm together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And now, while Holly sings Stand, please go online and give via PayPal or write a check and mail it to Unity of Lawrence. Thank you.
Let's think about these words. They're so powerful in our lives. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. And we're making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. And we're making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. And we're making a new world now. We are making a new world now. We are making a new world now.
I appreciate so much all the loving effort that has gone into putting this service together. And I appreciate the opportunity that we have to listen and to enjoy and to open up to truth, even if we are not together physically. When we support our community, we do that through prayer, we do it through participation, and we do it through financial giving. So let us remember that our community still needs our support and relies on it solely. So this week, as I go about my week, I appreciate myself. As I learned from Danica, I appreciate others. And I'm able to bring out the best and see the best in others and in myself and in my surroundings. We're grateful for this opportunity, and so it is. Amen.
Skip the introductions. No need to be proper. Only on this trip for a little longer. You'll tell me a story. Make yourself the hero. You can make me the coward. Our little hour. Take a drink from your flask. The green tea will calm your nerves. Now look out the window and told myself I'd write, but instead I put up a fight. Well, I told myself I'd live, but instead I chose to forgive. Take a drink from your flask. The whiskey will calm your nerves. And I'll look out the window and daydream of words. La da 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 ba da.
All right, I will now be sharing a few announcements about things coming up in the community. So first, does anyone have pumpkin to talk about? Missing in-person time with your friends at Unity or wishing to make more friends? Come for a fall meet and greet in the Unity parking lot on Sunday, October 18th from 2 to 4 p.m. Bring your own lawn chair and a beverage or snack of your choice if you wish. Masks are required. Friends, neighbors, and members of the congregation will have a chance to visit with one another while practicing social distancing in an outdoor setting. The building remains closed for this event. We would love to hear your feedback about today's service. Let us know what we can do to improve the experience. Reach out to a board member or contact Kathy Moreland in the office. We send out a weekly e-news on Mondays. If you are not receiving your copy, please let Kathy know in the office and she can be sure to add you to the list. You can email her at info@unityoflawrence.org or leave a message on the office phone 785-841-1447. And that information is on our website as well. Join us next week as our own Rev. Jen Hutchins speaks on Vision of Faith and special music with Cecilia St. King. Now let us bless our youth and each other. Let's rub our hands together and say with me, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the divinity in you. And now let's sing the original peace song with Steve Epley.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, children all are we. Let us walk with each other, perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
And finally, our prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. We hope to see you again next week. And you are also welcome to stay online if you would like to attend a breakout session with your Unity community. Have a blessed week.